Good afternoon and welcome to the show Serbia and the World. My name is Dragana Trivković and this is a joint production of Television Slavia Info and Center for Geostrategic Studies. I have a very special guest today. It's Dr. Riccardo de Mutiis, Italian jurist. Dear Mr. Riccardo, welcome to Serbia.
Thank you for having me.
Show and thank you for joining us. At the beginning, I will say some biographical information about my guest. Dr. de Mutiis is a member of the Victim Participation Office, the department of the Kosovo Specialist Chambers, entrusted of the defense of the victims of the crimes committed in Kosovo in the period between January 1908 and end of December 2000. Yes. He was also the member of several missions deployed of European by OSCE. In Serbia 2007, Armenia 2020 and Montenegro 2018. Yeah. And also he wrote a monography about Serbian history from 1945 to 2000.
Yeah.
Yes. And published by Radio Radicale, the only Italian radio authorized to broadcast seasons of Italian Parliament. And from 2010 to 2012, Mr. Riccardo was correspondent on Serbian scenario for Radio Radicale, former lecturer of the master held by Elum University, the master lectures of international law, supported by European Union, Monnet Actions. Yeah. And also he wrote articles and held conferences in Italy and abroad about international justice. And we will speak today our topics are international law and Tribunal for Kosovo. Yeah. So at the beginning, Mr. Riccardo, please explain to us what is exactly the Tribunal for Kosovo, and the official name is the Kosovo Specialist Chambers and Specialist Prosecutor's Office. Yeah. Yes, please, can you explain to us what is?
It is not an international tribunal. It is a part of Kosovo judicial system established by a constitutional amendment adopted by Kosovo Assembly on August 2015. The seat of this tribunal is in The Hague, the Netherlands, and the tribunal is entirely staffed with international personnel. This tribunal does not adjudicate any crime committed whenever, but just some crime, as you exactly told before, crimes committed in Kosovo since 1st January 1998 to 31 December 2010, and crimes specific as war crimes, crimes against humanity, and some other few crimes provided by Kosovo Criminal Code. And the decision of establishing this tribunal was the subsequence of an agreement between European Union and the Kosovo government.
Mm-hmm. It means that European Union practically asked Kosovo to agree about this established of tribunal.
Yeah, we can say that European Union urged Kosovo to establish this tribunal with these features.
Yes, I saw on the website, official website of the Kosovo Tribunal, that it's a unique example of an institution, part of the Kosovo judicial system, like you said, and but with the difference that it's in Netherlands, and there are no Kosovo citizens among the judges and prosecutors. So, are you the only one Italian in the staff?
In the victim participation office, maybe there are other one or two that I don't remember well, but there are two Italian judges.
And the others from which countries are?
All around Europe and even from USA. That's are the main
mainly European Union,
the main
and
routes
US.
we can see.
Yes. So yes, maybe you already answered this question, but I will ask who initiated the establishment of the tribunal, and also how did the establishment of the tribunal for Kosovo came to be? I mean, how this procedure happened?
Yeah, well, the first step on the path that led to the establishment of this court was the famous or infamous Marty report. Dick Marty is a Swiss senator who, on behalf of Council of Europe, drafted a report in 2010. This report contained allegations related to crimes committed by high ranks of Kosovo Liberation Army in the period we have told before, 1998-2000. But this report contained just allegation, not evidence. On the basis of this report, European Union established a special investigative task force just to investigate these allegations, to realize if these allegations were grounded or not. The task force drafted a report in 2015, and this report stated that there were sufficient grounds, sufficient elements to file indictments against some officials of KLA, so Kosovo Liberation Army. On the basis of this report, European Union urged Kosovo government to establish this court.
That was the... And they decided in 2015, you told that they signed the agreement between Kosovo and European Union. And after that, European Union start to establish this tribunal.
Was established in 2015.
Same year. Same year. And yes, more than 20 years have passed since the crimes were committed in Kosovo. And why did it take so long to establish the tribunal? So if we count that it was established in 2015, it means, for example, 50 or 17 years after the crimes were committed. Yes.
There are different reasons. One of the reasons is that to establish a branch of a judiciary, especially abroad, takes time. It's not easy, especially under a logistic point of view. Then, this tribunal is investigating crimes committed 15 years before, so it's very hard and difficult to investigate some situation that didn't happen recently but so long time before. Third, the pandemic slackened further the work of the tribunal.
Yes, but it was maybe 2000, from 2019 or 20, then the problems with pandemic started, and it also affected on the work of the tribunal. Yes. And why actually there are so few ongoing proceedings? I opened there is on the website you can find, and I find I think 4 or 5, only 4 or 5.
I can see that I answered before, but anyway, it's better to have a few but relevant and prominent proceedings as the ones that they are having actually in Kosovo than having not. I mean, are important proceedings against prominent politicians. So it's a remarkable job, in my opinion.
Okay, and yes, we already said that the tribunal for Kosovo is in The Hague, Netherlands. And but why is that? Why is it Netherlands, in Hague, and why the tribunal has this international stuff? What is the reason?
Yeah, the reason is that locating the seat of the tribunal abroad and staffing the tribunal with international judges and prosecutor, the European Union wanted to avoid that a tribunal located in Kosovo, staffed with local judges, could suffer the political and environmental influence and pressure. European Union had doubts about the capacity of Kosovo judiciary, and it is because the Kosovo judiciary was totally rebuilt after the war. So building a judiciary takes time, so lack of experience. On the other hand, international community was not totally satisfied of the performance of EULEX mission. EULEX mission, you know, administered justice in Kosovo during last 5-6 years, and experts were, how can I say, some decisions, some acquittals of Kosovar defendants aroused perplexity. According to some experts, these acquittals were ungrounded and questionable. So mainly the decision of staffing the tribunal with not local judge and moving the seat of a tribunal abroad was made to avoid that a tribunal in Kosovo could suffer political and environmental influence and pressure. That's
to avoid that kind of problems.
Sorry?
To avoid that kind of problems.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes. But we didn't say at the beginning. I will ask you, what is your duty? What is your duty in this at this tribunal?
Yeah, but as you told before, exactly, I am a member of the Victim Participation Office. Victim Participation Office take care under a procedural point of view of the interests of the victims of the crime. Victims of the crime are individuals who retain to have suffered a damage as a result of a crime. In this case, as a result of a crime committed in Kosovo in the period we have told before, 1998 to 2000. Individuals who retain to have suffered such kind of damage have to file an application to the Victim Participation Office. What about the content of this application? Application has to indicate how the damage occurred, who caused the damage, where, when. The nature of the damage could be physical, could be financial, could be psychological. And is essential that the application indicates even the supporting elements, so indication of witnesses, indication documents, and so on. After having received the application, the office assesses the application and files the application to the panel, to the judge, with a recommendation about the admissibility of the application. In case the panel admits the victim in the proceedings, the victim, through his counsel, through his lawyer, take part to the proceedings and is a party of the proceeding as other parties, as prosecutor, as defendant, has the same procedural rights. So the victim, the counsel of the victim, could make submissions, could question witnesses, could make opening statements and closing statements. Is important, is essential to say that victims could send application, could file applications only after that indictment has been confirmed by the court, not before.
Okay. And I wanted to ask you also, why was the Tribunal for Kosovo, unlike the Tribunal for Yugoslavia, not established by the United Nations? Why we have this, how to say, in some way, special case, as I understand? This is unique case, yes?
So, is the only tribunal located abroad that is not international tribunal. Yes. Is located in The Hague. The Hague, we can say that is the capital of international justice. You know, in The Hague as his seat, the International Court of Justice, the International Criminal Court. And for sure you remember that even the Tribunal for former Yugoslavia has his seat in The Hague, and in The Hague has seat even the Arbitration Court of United Nations. So it's the capital of the international justice. And I think that, in my opinion, the establishment in The Hague is a subsequence of an agreement between Kosovo and European Union, because the other option you mentioned, the establishment by the United Nations, was complicated, because you need for this decision had to be taken by the Security Council and the Security. You know that
there are some countries which don't recognize Kosovo like independent states. Yes.
That is more complicated under a procedural point of view, so it was easier
to establish in this way. And what a victim of crime should do to be admitted to the trial?
I said before,
You told the whole procedure. And there is, yes, I wanted to ask you about the witnesses. There is a known security problem regarding the protection of prosecution witnesses. Has that problem been overcome now?
But this is one of the problems that urged institution to move the seat of the tribunal from Kosovo to The Hague, because probably in Kosovo witnesses were not so safe.
Even there was a lot of cases, even not only problem in Kosovo, I think there was cases, examples in the other places as well. So now it's a situation better. Is there some, how to say, program for protecting the witnesses or something like that?
But this is not a matter that is related to the activity of my department.
Okay.
But anyway, there is protection for witness, yeah, for what I know.
And yes, maybe we just mentioned this problem about why they didn't establish this tribunal by UN, but does the fact that Kosovo is not an international recognized state, even by some EU members, if we know that the European Union established this tribunal, does this fact have an impact on the work of the tribunal?
But in a way, I don't think it could have an impact, because judges came even from countries who don't recognize Kosovo.
You have also the judges, for example, from Greece or Spain, who don't recognize. So they are
not from Greece or Spain, but some.
Yes,
coming from not recognizing countries. There are.
So they are
anyway, our decision anyway taken in the name of Kosovo. The decision of the court.
That's right, because it's part of a judicial system of. Yes. And yes, I wanted to talk a little bit more about this report of Dick Marty. On the website of the Tribunal for Kosovo, I saw the full report of Mr. Dick Marty, Inhuman Treatment of People and Illicit Trafficking in Human Organs in Kosovo. It's from 2011, I think. In 2011 was actually adopted by the Council of Europe. So why has the case of human trafficking not yet received an epilogue?
It is not a matter of my office. Is a question of, is probably the investigative stage is still going on. As I remember in the Marty report, there were allegations related to crimes as murder, abduction, human organ trafficking, and and torture. There are the four main crimes alleged in this report.
So it's how to say, this investigation is really slow, and the problem is I don't know what, the technical or it's also, yes, you told that EU start this to form the group for investigation. But why we don't see the results still?
So it takes time, because the tribunal could not decide on the basis of the Marty report. Marty report
need to be investigated in the
even.
But we also had that problem that already, how long we have, 22 years ago.
But the problem is the special investigators task force started to investigate in 2015. So something like 15 years after the war. So, only Marty report realized that many crimes committed during the period were not prosecuted and were not adjudicated. So,
and yes, I wanted to ask about the mandate of tribunal. I mean, what is the goal of tribunal? He will work how long? Do you have some idea, or it depends on these cases?
There is not a deadline. There is not a deadline. It depends on how long.
will need the time.
How much time take the criminal proceedings, that it is not predictable, because during a trial could happen many things, many events that could influence the length of the trial. So it's really not predictable.
And is there till now any decisions of tribunal?
Recently there was a decision about I think two prominent Kosovo politicians who spoke about some reserved informations as names of witnesses of some trials. This is forbidden. This is not allowed. And these politicians were convicted by the tribunal.
The tribunal.
And they were sentenced. The sentence was 4.5 years, just for having obstructing the course of justice. So it is an important signal from the tribunal of not tolerating this kind of pressure on witness, this kind of attempt of influencing the work of the tribunal.
Right. And I know that you cannot speak too much about victims, but can you tell us what ethnicity is the largest number of victims? Minorities, Albanians, Serbs?
It's not me that can say, could say something about that, but it is essential to read the Martyr report. Martyr report speaks itself. If in Martyr report is written that there are allegations related to crimes committed by high ranks of Kosovo Liberation Army, you have the answer.
Okay, it means that this Dick Marty report is very important for this tribunal. It's
the basis,
essentially important.
But even because the allegation of this report were confirmed by the task force.
Okay, Mr. Riccardo, I wish you much success in your future work, and thank you for being my guest. Thank you for answering these important questions. Dear audience, this was the show of the joint production of Slavia Television and the Center for Geostrategic Studies. We will continue to analyze a wide range of current international topics. Thank you for your attention.
Thanks for having me.